In this video, I'll illustrate using operator overloading in C#. First thing I'll do is create a new project. I'll just create a console application because that's probably the easiest thing to illustrate this. And we'll just call it operator overloading. Click on OK. And I'm going to go ahead and blow away most of this default class and start over. Just using system directory, public class, test. This is going to be the application that does the driving, so to speak. So I need to create a public static void main method. And now I need to create a class that would be appropriate to implement operator overloading on. So the first thing that comes to mind, and probably the most appropriate that you always see examples of, is a point class. So let me just start by creating a public class, and we'll call it point. And we need a couple of fields, because a point is made up of an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. Public int x and public int y. And I'm also going to need to create a couple of constructors. So public point, we'll take two integers, x and y. This dot x is equal to x, and this dot y is equal to y. And I'll also go ahead and implement an empty constructor. Oops. And we'll just initialize x and y to 0 in this one. Okay, now I'm ready to overload an operator, so I'll just start with the plus sign, public static point. When you're overloading operators, you need to they need to be public methods, and they need to be static as well. This one's going to return a new point object. We need to call this operator and the plus sign. And it's going to take 2 point objects, P1 and point P2. And all we're going to do is return a new instance of a point class, P1.x plus P2.x, comma, P2.y plus, so we can start with P1.y plus P2.y. Now, I'll show you in a second, you'll be able to add 2 points together and create a new one that's got the sum of point 1 and point 2. Alright, now let's go back up to the driver application, and we can actually add a couple of point objects together. So point P1 equal to new point, and we'll create a new point 2. Go ahead and just give them the same coordinates. And now, if I wanted to create point 3, I can say point 3 is equal to P1 plus P2. Let's just write this out to the console. Just do a little bit of string formatting here, make it a little bit prettier. P3.x, P3.y. So what we should see when I build and run this is the output of a new point that's got a coordinate of 2 and 4. So let's see what we get here. And sure enough. So I could go back and I could overload the subtraction operator as well, but I think this illustrates the point. So just to review this real quick, probably the most important thing to keep in mind is that if you're going to overload an operator, your function needs to be public and it needs to be static. You'll typically take two instances of the same object in. That's not a must, but that's typical. And then you'll just perform some operation on them and then return a new instance with that operation performed on the individual constituents. This video illustrates the most important aspects in implementing operator overloading. Thanks for watching.